The memorial ceremony for Sergeant Doran will begin in 5 minutes. Please ensure all cell phones are silenced. Good morning and welcome to the Echo 181 Memorial Ceremony for Sergeant Colby Doran. As most of you know, Sergeant Doran was fighting an aggressive form of cancer and lost his fight on October 8th, 2020. This service will be the company's opportunity to mourn the loss of a beloved brother together and say some words in his honor, as well as to share in our mourning with the family. Joining us from the Doran family today, we have Sergeant Doran's dad, Aaron, his mom, Julie, and brothers Connor and Caleb. It is an honor to have you with us today, and thank you for making the trip out here. All right, if everyone would please rise for the national anthem.
Company, attention! Present, hold.
At this time, Chaplain Cole will lead us in an invocation.
Please pray with me. O God of living, both present and departed, and of all eternity, in you is care and compassion for every soul. We welcome your presence, asking special regard for the Doran family and soldiers of Echo Company in this memorial ceremony. Thank you for the gift of shared memories and shared experiences of life that connect us all in the comfort, peace, joy, communion, healing, meaning, and love in collective celebration. Amen.
There are a few soldiers who would like to say some words about Sergeant Doran.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I really thought that this would be a lot easier the second time, but it's not. Doran was probably the greatest soldier to ever impact our lives. As each and every one of us, we should strive to be just like him. There was never a situation or a bad moment that he wasn't smiling and didn't love life. I'll miss him with all my heart, and he'll never be replaced. There's still just one question that he would never answer that unfortunately I'll never get the answer to, and that is how we pronounce his last name, if it's Doran or Doran. He would never answer it, and his only response is, whatever you call me is fine. That's not good enough. I need to know. But I guess that's just a conversation that I'll have to have with him the next time I see him. I love you, brother. I miss you. And again, I'm so sorry for your guys' loss.
had not an easy day. I was Sergeant Doran's team leader for the short time I knew him. I knew from, the second drill I met him that he was made of something different, something that, many of us strive. Didn't matter if we were out here sleeping in tent or on a convoy, no AC, full gear, sweating our butts off, can't hear anything. He was always there to kind of bring up the mood. Didn't matter what was going on. And on one of those convoys back from JBLM down in Tacoma, he had been having some leg issues for a little bit, and we insisted that he go get the medical treatment that was available to him, and didn't really think it would be what it was. Just thought maybe it was a muscle spasm or something, but nope, it was the worst, cancer. But it didn't matter, over the past 6, 7 months, 10 months, we've been conversing back and forth. Even after losing his leg, his number one goal was to pass his APFT and, to come back and put his uniform on and come back to work. There's days that, it's harder to get out of bed, but just thinking about Sergeant Doran, Colby, and remembering that, even after losing his leg, he still wanted to come back. I think if we just remind ourselves that even after, everything he had been through, it didn't matter. He wanted to be here with all of you. That's the number one thing. So, hurrah!
So Sergeant Doran, I was fortunate enough to have as one of my soldiers for a couple years. I just wanted to share you with a couple of memories. The first time I met his dad, he just literally said, "Oh, Staff Sergeant Brower, it's you." I'm like, "Oh, crap." The first time I ever met Sergeant Doran, I was actually with Staff Sergeant Grider, and he was actually on my MTO for here at YTC, and he bumped into me, and he was just like, oh no. I was like, "Oh, who are you?" He's like, "Oh, I'm a PFC Doran." I'm like, "Oh, it says Doran." We were giving him a hard time, like, "Hey, why aren't you reporting to Yakima?" He was like, "Oh, because I was told to come here." Sergeant First Class Sorrells, he wanted to be here today. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to. He was one of his team leaders as well. He just really wanted to bring remorse for you guys. He told me about for VCOT training during the simulation of loading and unloading. He was doing it so fast the sensors weren't keeping up with it, so he got really aggravated with it. And he told him, "Hey, just say it in order. Just take your time with it. In a combat zone, you don't have to do that." We were actually sitting there a couple hours later talking like, "Man, this kid is just crazy." Crazy good at what he does, loves what he does. And he came up behind us and he was, "Hey, what's going on, Sergeant?" We're like, "How dare you interrupt us while we're trying to make fun of you?" And I was very honored to be one of his team leaders. And I'm so sorry, you guys.
As most of you here know, Sergeant Doran was an incredible inspiration. He never complained, never gave up, and he never, ever stopped smiling. He was the kind of soldier that consistently put me in check, because just when I would feel sorry for myself, I would see him smiling and realize it really wasn't that bad. He made all of us better, and he still does. Meeting his family and working with them for the last several weeks has shown me where exactly he gets it from. He comes from a family of really amazing and truly wonderful people, and it has been an honor getting to know you. I actually have something for you today that I would like to present to you both. So this has our company guide on here. It has his rank, a little something for him, and it has the coin for the engineer battalion and the support battalion that he was a part of. So hopefully you guys can keep that and cherish it. At this time, the chaplain will come up for one final message.
To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to cast away. A time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time of war, and a time of peace. I know that everything God does will remain forever. There is nothing to add to it, and there is nothing to take from it. For God has so worked that men should be in awe of him. Aaron, Julie, Connor, Caleb, we are truly sorry for your loss. The scriptures remind us that there is a time to weep and a time to mourn. This morning, we weep with you and we mourn with you. You are not alone. The seasons and the times of Colby's life have been full. The colors and the temperatures of his life on vast display for all to cherish in the reflection and remembrance of his life and service. Those who loved, respected, and valued Colby describe their cherished memories of him in this way: a personality and character for which words have not been fashioned. Selfless. Humble. So much so that he struggled to believe all the good things about himself. Goofy. Always joking. He loved life. He loved the uniform. The Army will never gain a better soldier than Doran. The world will never gain a better person than Doran. Once-in-a-lifetime soldier. A soldier possessing contagious motivation and enthusiasm. A warrior, fighting to the very end, finding peace and comfort in the end. Those were the words of those that served with him and those closest to him. The scriptures provide for you, Aaron and Julie, a God described as a God of all comfort, who comforts you in all of your affliction. I pray that you may know and feel the depths of such comfort. And in turn, may your time and season turn from a season of weeping and mourning to a new season of joy at the appointed time. It may not be today. It may not be tomorrow, next month, or next year. Only you will know when the season is coming. Its approaching will be evident only to you, but it will come. When your joy and laughter will overcome the weeping in the morning, it will come. For those in our formation, may the example of Colby's life, service, and death inspire you to greater fidelity of service and sacrifice to one another in love, of higher heights of character and service to our country in our loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage in the discharge of our oath. In so doing, we honor the life and memory of Sergeant Colby Doran. I offer to God on all of our behalf in benediction the prayer of Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You have anointed my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and loving kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen and amen.
Company, attention! Sergeant Palacios. Here for a sergeant. Sergeant Weir. Here for sergeant. Sergeant Doran. Sergeant Colby. Doran.
At this time, I would like to welcome any additional uniformed personnel who would like to come forward and pay their respects. This concludes the memorial ceremony for Sergeant Doran. For those of you who have not yet introduced yourself to the Doran family, they will be here after the service so that you can pay your respects to them as well. Thank you for attending.